Hi, welcome to Learning Monkey. I am Raghu here. In this class, we'll discuss about what's the need of public key digital certificate. In our last class, when we discussed about station to station protocol, there we have used digital certificate in order to share the public key. So what's the need of digital certificate if you want to send that public key? That is the point we are going to understand here. With an example, we are going to understand that suppose if A and B wants to share the information. B asked for A's public key. Now A is going to announce his public key openly. Assume that there is no digital certificate. A announced its public key openly. So whenever that public key is going openly, the attacker in the middle, he can stay here. He will stop that message and he will act as A, and he sends his own public key. Means attacker's public key is going to be sent. If he sent like that, B think that the public key that came here, it came from A, and that's the public key it is going to use. When B uses the attacker's public key, he will send the message. He will encrypt the message with the attacker's public key, and he will send the message, and that message is going to be decrypted using attacker by his private key. So what missing here? Authentication is missing here. B should know that the message, the public key came from A. That authentication is missing here, but if you publish the public key openly. In order to provide that authentication, digital certificates are needed. So who is going to provide these digital certificates? Government authorities or some private organizations. Some private organizations. So one of the example who is going to provide digital certificates are GoDaddy. This is mostly commonly used name. Everyone knows this name. That's why we are mentioning this. GoDaddy is providing these certificates. Most of the times we call it as SSL certificates. So now how the digital certificates will be? Let's try to understand the overview of that. So if A wants the digital certificate, A goes to GoDaddy. Now he has to provide A's ID, means his unique identification. Assume that learningmonkey.in. We will have a unique identifier, that identification, and our domain name should be provided. A's ID and A's public key, whatever the public key we want to use, that public key, and some other details. What's these details? We have to provide that. We are going to discuss in our next class. There is a separate format for that in order to provide these details. So GoDaddy is going to take all these details. On these details, he is going to apply hash. He is applying hash function. Why we are applying hash function? In order to provide integrity. Means if there is a change, if someone changed this data, hash function is going to, the hash value is going to change. In order to provide integrity, hashing is applied, and on that hash, digital signature is applied. This digital signature applied using GoDaddy's private key. So this digital signature in order to provide authentication. This is provided using GoDaddy's private key. Means this digital signature can be applied by using public key of GoDaddy. So this entire thing, this data and this hash value and this digital signature, we call it as digital certificate. We call it as digital certificate. So now what happens if this digital certificate is used instead of you publicly providing public key? See, A, if he sends the digital certificate, instead of sending public key, he is going to send digital certificate. In this certificate, it is having public key. A's public key is there. So whenever this digital certificate reached B, B is going to check the signature using GoDaddy's public key. See, now if attacker is there in the middle, he has to create the same certificate, digital certificate, using the details of A and the public key. He has to create the same digital certificate. It's not possible. If he wants to create the digital certificate, it can be created only using the private key of that provided by GoDaddy, which is not available. B is going to verify the signature using public key, GoDaddy's public key. These public keys are available in the browser. This is why digital certificates are needed, because to provide authentication. Now B can confirmly say that the public key that came from A is authenticated and it is perfectly came from A. No one in the middle attacked and sent the attacker's public key. In order to provide that authentication, we need digital certificates. Hope you understand what's the use of digital certificates. If you have any questions regarding the concept, please post your questions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon for the latest updates. Thank you.